Welcome to episode 10 of the MetaMagix Monster Manual, where I take monsters from all over gaming and shove them into 5th edition stat blocks just for you to use in your games. Today we are continuing the Dead by Daylight chapter with the brand new killer who just got released yesterday added to the game, the Blight. Based on the Blight's playstyle, I wanted to design a stat block around the concept of extreme mobility and excelling in 1v1 combat. As usual, a link to the stat block will be down in the description below. It'll link you to my Twitter or my Discord, where you can find a picture of the stat block, download it, and take it for yourself, guys. So with that in mind, let's jump right into it. So this is the Blight, and to begin, the Blight is considered a medium monstrosity with the chaotic evil tag, the same alignment as all of the other Dead by Daylight killers. He has an armor class of 15 being his natural armor, a hit point total of 125 hit points, and a movement speed of 35 feet, as just like the other killers in Dead by Daylight, he is slightly faster than other creatures. For the stat array, the nature of his corrupted Blight serum gave him a little bit of an edge in terms of his stats, as his stats are almost all notably higher than the average human, with 16 strength, 14 dex, 16 constitution, 12 intelligence, 12 wisdom, and just a base 10 charisma. For the damage immunities, just like all the other killers, he is immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks, but could be tuned down to just a resistance if your party is low on magic. He has a passive perception of 11, speaks 0 languages, and is a challenge rating of 6. Where the Blight excels are in his 3 perks: Hex Undying, Dragon's Grip, and Hex Blood Favor. The Hex mechanic has been introduced in previous videos. If you have not seen those, I will leave a link somewhere up here to go check out when I introduced the Hex mechanic. But let's jump into some gameplay and talk about his ability and his perks. So to begin with the Blight's main ability, he has his Blighted Rush. As a bonus action, the Blight injects himself with his Blighted Corruption Serum. The Blight may then rush in a straight line for up to 30 feet. If the Blight collides with an object, he may dash again up to a maximum of 5 times, 5 straight dashes. If the Blight fails to connect with an object, he loses the rest of his movement for the turn. The Blight may make a melee attack at any point during any of the dashes, at which point his dash stops and he loses all of his movement until his next turn. Any melee attacks made as a part of this ability gain an extra damage die. This ability is solely designed to maneuver around a party and target likely weaker members to gain the upper hand. Moving on to his 3 unique perks. First off, we have Hex Undying, again, the Hex mechanic introduced earlier. At the start of the encounter, a small totem of bones is placed at a location within 60 feet of the Blight at the location of a DM's choosing. The Hex is placed on this totem and remains as long as the totem is not destroyed. A creature can use an action to destroy the totem. A DC 14 Wisdom Perception check within 30 feet of the totem is required to see it. While this Hex is active, any creatures located within 5 feet of a Hex totem have their locations automatically revealed to the Blight. And additionally, any Hex totem destroyed before this one automatically materializes at a separate location within 60 feet of the Blight at a location of the DM's choosing. So it is essentially a decoy totem for each active other Hex totem that exists. So if you were to say run like Hex Ruin, like on the Hag, but you also had Hex Undying, the Ruin would not be destroyed the second the totem was destroyed. It would just appear somewhere else, but the party might think it's destroyed until they destroy this other totem. So it is meant to deceive your party. For his second ability, we have Dragon's Grip. A creature who lands a successful attack on the Blight becomes marked and is vulnerable to all damage for the next 60 seconds. This mark can only affect one creature at a time, so it can transfer from one creature to another. If the Blight happens to go up to a lone party member, the party member attacks them, they will be marked for a while until another party member comes and attacks the Blight, at which point the mark will then transfer to them. That is how it's meant to work. And for his third perk, we have Hex Blood Favor. This pairs with Hex Undying. At the start of the encounter, a small totem of bones, same deal as the previous hexes, but while this hex is active, successful attacks made by the Blight heal him for half of the damage dealt. So the idea behind this is your party needs to destroy the Undying totem before they destroy this one, otherwise the Blight will permanently have lifesteal for the duration of the encounter, which can be very dangerous. For his actions, he only has a single action, which is his Cane attack, a melee weapon attack, +6 to hit, range 5 feet, 1 target, and deals 7 or 1d8 +3 piercing damage, but again deals 1 extra damage die if comboed with the Blighted Rush ability, so 2d8 +3. Now, this entire stat block is designed, and this killer should be played around the concept of hit and run, or targeting weaker party members or ranged party members by being able to rush a very long distance across the map and engage in 1v1 combat, take out the weaker party members before moving on to the stronger ones. That is how I would run this killer. And also deceiving your party with Hex Undying to make them think that they've gained the upper hand by destroying a Hex totem that actually isn't really destroyed. But guys, that is how I would run the Blight, the brand new killer introduced in Dead by Daylight yesterday in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. If you guys have any questions or comments about this stat block, be sure to leave them in the comments, as well as any changes you might make to this stat block. I'm always open to revisions. And if you guys like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. So until the next time, guys, have fun, stay safe, and as always, happy gaming.